Hi guys, and welcome to another Is It Worth It? And this time we are going to be looking at the FCM36-PAK40. Is this tank worth it? Well, to cut a long story short, yes, this tank is worth it. It is one of the best tier 3 premiums you can buy. It is a French tier 3 tank destroyer. And it costs 850 gold, but at the time of making this video there is a 50% off sale coming up soon, so this tank will cost a paltry 425 gold in a matter of weeks. So I've mentioned it's a tier 3 French premium, but it's not. Okay, it may show up in the French tech tree and it may be a French tank in the game, but this is not actually a French tank. It is a German tank. This is the Marder 1. In game, at tier 3 for the Germans, we have the Marder 2, but this is a Marder 1. That is why it has the PAK40, the German gun. It is a French hull, the FCM36, which was a light infantry vehicle. It was used for infantry support. It was originally mounted with a machine gun, but this is captured and the Germans repurposed them with the L40 gun so that they became tank destroyers, the Marder 1. In previous review videos, I've previewed the premium tank against other premium tanks. I don't review the premium tank against normal tanks in the game because anyone can get those tanks, anyone can unlock them, anyone can formulate their own opinion of those tanks. That's not what I'm doing in this series. In this series I'm asking, is it worth it? And therefore I only review these premium tanks against other premium tanks of the same tier, and there are no other premium TDs at tier 3, so unfortunately I've got no other premium TDs to review this against. However, I've mentioned that this is basically the Marder 1, and even though I don't really want to do it, I feel I have to, and I am going to be comparing this tank against the German Marder 2, which is also tier 3. So we're going to bring up the Marder 2 and we're going to bring up the FCM PAK40. So there we go. Compared to the Marder 2, and actually compared to all the other tier 3 TDs in the game, it's got more hit points. It's got a it's heavier. It's 14 tons, or just over 14 tons, and it's got a really poor engine. Because it's heavy and because it's got a poor engine, yep, you guessed it, this thing is slow. It gets up to 24 kilometers an hour, but that is only going downhill. It never reaches 24 kilometers, even on the flat. Your usual speed will be somewhere between 10 and 15 kilometers an hour. If you're going up a hill, expect to reach speeds approaching a whole 4 or 5 kilometers an hour. I am here on Corellia. The match is evenly balanced, and the engine is about to get me into a lot of trouble. The PZ1C you can see ahead of me has just asked for help. There are still a pile of enemy tanks down here. And while I was planning to stay and defend Cap, I decide, well, if no one else is going to help him, I better go. So we're going downhill and we're getting our full speed. We're getting up to 25 kilometers an hour downhill. And I'm still debating whether moving forward is the wisest choice, because I could stay and defend Cap. We have an AFK PZ1C back there, so no one is defending. But you can see how painfully slow the engine is. We're 8 kilometers, 9 kilometers, 7 kilometers. I want to help the PZ1C. We're down to 5 kilometers an hour. I really do want to help the PZ1C, but this tank just does not have the engine power. PZ1C is asking me, am I at full speed, with a smiley. Again, he decides to get out of there, and that is probably wise. But now, because I have advanced, I am all on my own here. And I'm stuck. I don't have the speed to retreat. And we know that there are at least 3 enemy tanks here, so I've been spotted. Taking hits. Well, we should finish him off now. There we go. And again, I've got some backup now. 2 friendly tanks. But our other flank has collapsed. And I know that there's a Valentine AT in the middle, and now there's an FCM36-PAK40 in the middle. But I'm doing a whole 12 kilometers. We're going uphill now. So I'm speeding it up. It looks a lot quicker than it is, but I'm going to slow it down so you can see how painfully slow this tank is. We're doing 4 kilometers now. And if I had stayed in cap, if I hadn't gone to help the PZ-1C, this game would have been a win. But I'm gone up to ×2, but we're still only doing 6 kilometers an hour. So we're going to speed it up. Okay, finish the Valentine. There's still an FCM pack down here. No shots on him. So I'm trying to get shots, but he's long gone. And the big problem with this tank has just shown up. So there's an enemy tank in base. We've got 1.5 minutes to stop the cap. But I'm in an FCM pack. And we're doing a whole 7 kilometers in reverse. I don't have a hope in hell of getting back to stop the cap. So we'll speed it up a little bit. 2 enemy tanks in cap. 30 seconds till the game is over. And that is it. No chance. And that's this tank's biggest problem. If you advance down one flank, you do not have the speed to react to what's happening on the rest of the battlefield. This thing is incredibly slow, and if you've watched my other videos, you know I'm not a fan of slow tanks. So why do I like the PAK40 if it is so slow? Well, that's why I'm making this video. The traverse speed is pretty good. At 37. In fact, comparing this to most of the other traverse speeds on the other TDs at tier 3, it is one of the best. If we look at the gun traverse, it is 44, which is comparable to most of the other tier 3 TDs in the game, but I'm not going to compare them directly. It is hugely superior to the Martyr 2's gun traverse of 26, but this is a bit of a red herring, as this is not really that important, and the reason is yet another negative. As well as being incredibly slow, this thing has incredibly poor gun traverse arc. The gun traverse arc is only about 7 degrees, so about that much when you are playing this tank. The gun does not traverse very far at all. That means you have to constantly, and you'll see it in the videos I'm going to be showing you guys, you're going to constantly have to move your hull in order to get your gun on target, and it is very easy to overcompensate when you are turning your hull, causing you to miss some shots. It also means that shooting fast-moving targets is quite difficult because they move in and out of your gun arc so quickly that you don't have time to aim at them. You then have to adjust your hull, and even if you've made your adjustment correctly, you've got to go through your aim time again. So here's an example of the really poor gun traverse on the FCM-PAK40 and how you can beat it even when it's pointing straight at you. With just a little bit of knowledge or experience. So I'm being flanked, I'm on low health, I'm being flanked by a BT-7 here on Ensk. He's put a shot into me, so I'm aiming and I'm having major problems getting my gun on target, so I have to adjust, but he stops moving forward. I pull back, he's just moving back and forward. But just little movements back and forward, and I didn't have enough gun traverse to beat him, and he managed to stay out of my sights till he stopped to aim and fire. But yeah, gun traverse can really hurt this tank when it gets into close quarter combat. But it's an FCM pack, you should not be in close quarter combat. Looking at the hull armor, it is pretty well armored. I mean, it's 40mm in front, 40mm at the back. But, again, that's not entirely true. The 40mm is only this area here. Everything else seems to be closer to about 20mm. It's 40mm on the back, but again, it is only this area here that is 40mm. Everything else seems to be closer to 20mm. So let's talk about the gun. Well, because this is technically a German tank using a German gun, even though it's built on a French chassis and was originally a French tank, it is using the PAK40-2. And we'll take a look at the final gun for the Marder II, and we'll see that it is a PAK40-2. And just a quick glance down the stats, and these guns are fairly comparable. But before we do that, let's take a look at the stock gun on the Marder II, which is the PAK36. So we'll put that in the middle, and we'll put the PAK40 at the end here for the Marder II, and it is a 75mm gun. The PAK40 on the Marder II, the final gun, is also 75mm. The stock gun on the Marder II, I didn't realize this, but it's a 76mm. We'll take a look at the rate of fire, and you can see that the PAK40 has an amazing rate of fire. The FCM PAK40 has an amazing rate of fire compared to the other two, shooting out almost 16 shots a minute compared to 12 and 12.5. We'll take a look at the penetration, and the penetration is 98, which at tier 3 is very good. This tank, however, can come up against tier 4s and tier 5s, and whereas it doesn't have very many problems against tier 4s, it can struggle against tier 5s, especially tier 5 heavies. M7, no problem. Look at that accuracy, just over the roof of the house. Unfortunately, I hit the roof there, but KV-1 is advancing. Now, I can penetrate KV-1s with the FCM pack, but you really need to hit his weak spots. I'm aiming for his weak spots, but I'm not managing to penetrate. So I switch targets. And go back to work on the KV-1, but he retreats. But it's got slightly better penetration than the stock gun on the Marder II, but next to nothing. And the final gun on the Marder II is a lot better at 108mm of pen, but then it's a tier 5 gun compared to a tier 4. Even the penetration on the premium ammo is a little bit disappointing. Using premium ammo, we end up getting 126 millimeters of penetration, which is okay, especially against tier 3s and tier 4s, but definitely not against tier 5 heavies. Even the stock gun on the Martyr 2 gets 166, and the German PAK40 gets 154 millimeters of penetration. So yeah, penetration does seem to be lacking a little bit, but because of this gun's rate of fire and because of the accuracy, you don't really notice it. The damage is pretty similar across the board. We've got 110 and 110 damage on both packs. The stock gun on the Martyr 2 does a little bit more alpha damage, probably because it is a 76mm and compared to a 75. But accuracy is great. 0.37 accuracy, much better than the German versions of the gun. Aiming time is incredible at 1.5 second aiming time, 2.7 and 2.5 on the comparable German guns. Okay, the gun has some downsides to it, but the downsides really are insignificant compared to the upsides. I'm a tier 3 in a tier 4 game. We are here on Serene Coast, and let's see how we do. Just gonna kick off here. I'm going to initially head over to the 1-2 lines, but then I noticed that most of our team seem to be heading to the 1-2 lines. Only one tank has gone over to the 8-9 lines. So okay, alright, if no one else is going to do it, let's head over to the 1-2 lines. Or sorry, to the 8-9 lines. So now there are 3 of us over here. A PZ1C, a medium 3, and everyone else is going the other side. So, enemy are advancing through town. I've been spotted. Don't want to stop and take a shot, so I get into some cover first. And let's put the gun into action. So again, this is normal speed. I decide to blow away the M3 Stewart's cover. But he avoids me. So first shot goes in, and it's a kill. So the PZ1C, who had initially come over to this side with us, has now retreated, so it's just a medium 3 and myself. T70 on low health. I fire before being fully aimed, then finish him off. Okay, T46. Again, slight miss, readjust. And he could not see me. So my camo rating held up, and he couldn't see me as I killed him. But now, 3 tanks are advancing on the medium 3. I think about making a stand at this rock, but decide that no, I'm probably better off further back. So I move further back, and it was a good choice. The medium 3 has died. So I turn, first shot into the cruiser. He put a shot into my lower hull, but again, miss a shot because I wasn't fully aimed, but finish him off. We're up to 4 kills. But there's still a few tanks on the enemy side, and they still seem to be advancing. So there's a Chiha to my right. I'm still a little bit wary about the Chiha flanking me. I don't know at this stage that he's suicided. But okay, he's suicided. Let's go to work on the Matilda. And there you have it, 5 kills. So this gun, it's rapid firing, it is pretty accurate, and it is a heck of a lot of fun. So let's talk quickly about the crew and equipment. Well, the crew layout is very good. As you can see, I have my S35CA crew in here, but we have a commander, a gunner, a driver, and a loader, and that makes it a very, very, very good crew trainer for your French TDs. When you get later on in the French TD line, you'll be missing out on maybe a second loader, but it is definitely a good crew trainer. 4 crew slots in a tier 3 premium, well worth it. Equipment wise, well, I have gone for binocs and coated optics, as well as a camo net, and we'll take a look why. The choice of equipment for this tank isn't great. We'll start with enhanced springs. Why would you need enhanced springs? This is one of the slowest tanks in the game. You're not going to be damaging your own tracks by catching air, by jumping over hills. Yeah, it might stop the enemy from tracking you, but it's a tier 3. You don't have that many hit points to begin with. A complete waste of money and a waste of a slot, I think. Light spall liner, well, it's an open top vehicle. HE is going to do full damage against you anyway, and you're not the heaviest tank. You're pretty heavy, but you're not the heaviest tank, so you're not going to be doing a lot of ramming in this vehicle either. So I don't think a light spall liner is a good choice. Because this thing has great camo value, camo net just adds to it. It makes it all the harder to spot, and that's a good thing, and that's why I chose it. A ammo rack, again, I don't think it's worth it. Ammo rack durability, to be honest, I don't think I've ever been ammo racked in this tank. If I'm spotted, I die, and that's pretty much it. I went for binocs for the extra 25%, so that should give me, well, pretty much the maximum view range in the game. That gets me up to 500 meters view range, but the maximum view range you can actually get to is about 450. But it doesn't help to have those extra couple of meters. Coated optics alone, while I'm on the move, gets me up to 440, and that's pretty much the maximum view range. So even when stationary or moving in this tank, I am going to have the absolute maximum view range in the game. Enhanced gun laying drive is, it's an option, but this tank has a 1.5 second aiming time, so you don't need an enhanced gun laying drive. And again, toolbox I would say is a complete waste of time on this tank. You don't have the hit points. You're not going to be repairing anything quickly enough to warrant having a toolbox. We're going to move on to view range and signal range. And these are what makes this tank an absolute joy to play. This is what makes the tank fun to play. Usually, when a tank is fun to play, it's because it's got a great gun, or because it's fast, it's maneuverable, or because it's got troll armor. Very rarely do you hear someone say a tank is great to play because it's got great view range and signal range. But yeah, that's the case in the FCM pack. 400 meters of view range on a tier 3 tank destroyer. That is equivalent view range to most tier 10 tanks. Most of the enemy you are going to be shooting at in the PAK40 aren't going to be able to see you. You are going to be able to shoot them from stealth, or from, you don't even need to be in stealth. You can be out in the open in the middle of a street and you can shoot them and they will not spot you. And something that no one mentions when they talk about the FCM PAK40 is its amazing camo value. This thing has incredible camo value. The signal range is good. It's not great, but it is good compared to all the other tanks in the tier 3 TD category. It does let you down now and again, but signal range it's not bad. Forget signal range, this is all about the view range. The view range is so good that the FCM pack can actually be used as a scout. It can spot and detect tanks far, far better than most of the low tier scouts on your team. Okay guys, you know the format by now. It's coming to the end of the review, so we are going to be showing a game, or what I usually do is show a game that pretty much displays the strengths and weaknesses of what I've been talking about in one replay. This is a great tank. If you can overlook the weaknesses and you can play to avoid them, you end up with games like this. So we are here on Malinovka, and this is an amazing map for the FCM pack because the enemy have very little chance of getting close to you, and you can put your monster view range and your monster signal range into action. This is significant for a reason I will mention at the end of the game, but we're on ×2, so the tank looks faster than it actually is. I want to get away from spawn quickly. I do not want to be spotted by rushing scouts, so I play it safe to begin with. But like all my good tanks, I have just had so many good replays to choose from, and I have had to bin so many just to keep this video short. And this replay is one I chose for one specific reason. But we are finally advancing. I thought the PZ-1C was going to do some scouting, but how often do you see a TD being this aggressive? So, no shots on the LTP. But this is a wide open map, and it's perfect, absolutely perfect for the FCM. So I'm going scouting. We are doing a painfully slow 5 kilometers an hour along here. So none of my team have gone over to the 8-9 lines. It's so I'm the scout. I've got to spot everything coming down the 8-9 lines and everything in front, so that they my team who are camping in base can kill them. So we are 6 tanks down, and up till I spotted that T-18 and he died, the enemy team had only lost 1 tank. So spot the LTP. He's advancing, but I don't want to get spotted by the LTP. I need this guy to die so I can resume spotting. But I've spotted enemy RT. Look, T7 car on the mini-map on the other side of the map. But I figure it's safe to take a shot. I'm well out of view range of any of the tanks on the map. That one looked as if it went high, but maybe not. We end up getting the kills. But look at all these tanks on the other side of the map I am spotting, even though I'm not over there. That shot went low, unfortunately. And I thought that shot hit, but when he reappears, you'll see that I missed it. So, gun traverse is causing us problems here. Again, no idea how I missed that shot. But I'm having to constantly readjust my traverse speed, or my traverse, and my hull to get my gun on target. He unfortunately dies before I can kill him. But more tanks spotted. And I figure it's fairly safe to fire, so I pre-aim that one badly. It goes high. Again, pre-aim badly. They're all going high. Don't make the same mistake twice. So these guys are not spotting me. I haven't been spotted. Unfortunately, I track the T-18. I think he's still there, so I'm going for some blind shots. Nope, he must have moved. So I am down to 12 ammo. So once again, the FCM does not have the best of ammo capacities. And yeah, you really can't afford to spam that many shots. Enemy team down to 3 tanks, so I advance to do some more spotting. So it's just a question of who's going to lose patience first. So advance to the next bush, wait for binocs to kick in, and see what we spot. So all 3 enemy tanks are active. They've all had kills, or they've all gotten kills, so they are camping hard. They're not moving, otherwise I would spot them. The PZ1C is telling me to go, to advance. He obviously has no idea what my view range is like, and there we go. Martyr 2 is spotted. Why would I want to advance with 400 meters of view range? I waste so many shots on this T-18. So I'm trying to blow away his cover. But I'm not going to get him. So I'm on 5 kills, just need 1 more for my Top Gun. T-18's behind the rise. T-70 is behind a rock. I may not get my Top Gun. So PZ1C and a PZ2 are stalking him. He retreats. Okay, I can shoot. Gun traverse problems again, but we finish him off. 6 kills. And I was not spotted once. That entire game was played from stealth. Not one enemy tank spotted me throughout the entire game. That is why I decided to include this replay. The camo rating on this tank can be fantastic, but it's not just the camo rating. So we picked up 6 kills in that game and 3,176 XP doubled. As you can see, came first with a decent damage output. I've put out more damage in the FCM, but it was pretty good. 1,102 damage with a tier 3 tank. XP was pretty good. Base XP was just over 1,000, but we detected 8 of the enemy tanks. We damaged 8 and we destroyed 6. We only got 113 damage upon detecting, so we weren't giving our teammates a chance to shoot at the tanks we were spotting before we were killing them. That's what the FCM is amazing at. The FCM has incredible view range. It has great camo rating that's often overlooked. This is a tank that doesn't need to rely on its engine speed. It can sit in one space or one place and do the job of a tank that needs to move forward. It can spot from distance, it can kill from distance, and as long as you remember that about the FCM pack and don't play it too aggressively, you will prosper. So guys, to sum up, there's a lot to hate about this tank, to be honest. It is incredibly slow, which limits what you can do on the battlefield. It doesn't have that much ammo. I haven't mentioned this before, but its ammo loadout is actually rather poor. It only has 40 rounds. So you can find yourself running low on ammo. The gun traverse is pretty poor. You have a very, very, very narrow gun traverse, which makes hitting moving targets quite difficult. You have next to no armor when enemy tanks are clever enough to hit your upper structure as opposed to your hull. However, the accuracy, the aim time, and the rate of fire of the gun make it a huge selling point. The view range and the signal range are incredibly good, and the camo rating is another huge positive. Enemy tanks are going to be killed before they spot you. You can keep this tank at range, spot the enemy long before they see you, and between your camo rating and view range, you can be unstoppable. So, when people ask me, is the FCM36-PAK40 worth it? And yes. The weaknesses of this tank are so overshadowed by its strengths that you can pretty much overlook them. This tank's going to be half price soon. If you don't have it, ask Santa for one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.